Welcome everyone to another one of my ZBrush tutorials, and I guess earlier, it was just yesterday, I had forgotten how to use the insert mesh brushes. So last year I did a how to make a pumpkin tutorial, and I don't remember if I did it hollow or not. But what I want to show you is how to make a hollow pumpkin, and it kind of goes back a few years when I was curious about making things hollow in ZBrush. I mean, it's a closed surface, not, open. But we'll get started, and I'll show you real quick. What I've done here, I've already went to my document, my draw menu, and I've bumped up the frame opacity, so because we're only using reference lines in there. So when we do our different cuts and stuff. But anyway, we're going to take this sphere 3D, we're going to make it into a poly mesh, and we're looking straight into the Z-axis. But I'll show you how this all started a few years ago, about how I became curious about making things hollow. And what I did here, like I'm doing now, I'm going to turn on transparency, and I'm going to deform this in size. As you can see, there's a small sphere inside the big one. Okay, so I know I can do a Dynamesh. So if you go to the subtool menu over here and you click the little crescent, that will make this will tell the Dynamesh that this is a subunion. So anyway, you merge that down like so. Then you go down to your geometry tab, and you're going to do. I only show you how to do this, and we're going to Dynamesh it. And I believe it should be done. Alright, you can't really tell right off that's hollow, but if you go into transform and you click on dots display, you can see a little bit of an edge in there. So this is a hollow closed surface. Topologically speaking, that's what it is. Okay, so it is hollow inside, and to poke holes in it, or more than one, you have to use the custom insert brush. Alright, to do that, I want to show you how I made my insert brushes. I've already previously made a, let's see, it's not in here. Okay, I've reinitialized. So we'll show you how to make I'll make the hardest one first. And what we need is a cube 3D. And we're going to turn this into a poly mesh. I'm going to turn off the dots display now, but I just wanted to show you how I did that. Now, I kind of want to make this a narrow type rectangular box. So we're going to do a size in the X and Y. So now we got kind of a long little box here. Alright, what I want to do here is I want to rotate this a little bit. I'm going to say 45 degrees. Get it on the edge like that. So now we got this. Now we go to our move tool. We'll drag this out a little bit. If you hold down your control and put in the middle ring there, it will duplicate it. If you hold down shift, it will constrain it to the axis you're dragging in. So we'll do that. We'll do this a couple times. Control, put it in the center, shift, hold the shift down to constrain. And we'll do it one more time here. So now we've got this like a stair step type of thing here, and we want to duplicate that. And of course we want to clear our mask. I believe it's, let's see, sometimes the subtool is a little bit behind updating, and I believe we still have a mask on this. Okay. So what I want to do here is I'm going to do a Dynamesh again, and we'll turn on the polyframe temporarily. I'm going to take this bottom one and move it up. You can drag. I'm going to move it up a little bit from the bottom. And what I want to do here, you see the Z-axis here. We want to stretch this so it overlaps a little bit. like so. That's enough. We just want to overlap because we're going to do a dynamesh here. Okay. So now we've got this tool that's here on the bottom. This is the one we want to subtract from the top one. So we get the little crescent in the subtool menu, and now we merge down. And I can turn the transparency off. And we'll merge down, hit OK. And we go down to geometry, go to dynamesh. Now we've got this little object here, this polymesh. And I haven't really used ZRemesher a lot in a lot of the other stuff. I think it's a neat tool, so I'm going to do a ZRemesher. It kind of makes things neaten up. It kind of gives you a clean object, and I think it's kind of neat. And also, we can bring down the polygon count a little bit. See now I want to curve this a little bit, so we're going to use our move tool. We're going to drag it one corner over here, one corner over there. Now here's another thing with the move tool. If you place your cursor in the center ring and hold down Alt, you can curve this. So now we got our pumpkin smile. And what we do from here is going to create an insert mesh brush. Go to the brush menu, create insert mesh. We're going to say new, and we're going to save this. Now I made one previously, so it's going to be the pumpkin smile cutter. I'll replace the one I made previously. Alright, so we got one brush there. Now we want to create our triangular eyes. So we've got, and we want a cylinder. Actually, we could use a cube, but I'm not going to do it. No, so we got a cylinder, we initialize it. We bring it way down to the least amount of divisions. And we make this polymesh. Now I want to turn it, rotate it about the Z-axis a little bit. So we're going to rotate this, I'm going to say 30 degrees. Okay, I want to get it like that. Okay. So now we're going to create another insert mesh brush. And we'll say new, and we're going to save that. And I made one previously, so I'm going to call this pumpkin eye cutter. So we've got our smile, we got our pumpkin eye cutter. We're going to go back to our hollow cylinder that we've made previously. We'll turn it up like this. Now we want to cut these holes in. Since this is hollow, I'll show you what happens here. We're going to turn on the, I believe I'm going to turn on, I think it was Y I did last time. No, okay, X. So we've got our pumpkin eye cutter selected. And you hold down the Alt key. If you do an insert mesh brush and you just hold it and you just pull it out without the Alt, it's a positive. When you hold down the Alt, it's a negative insert. So we're going to do this now, and we'll re-drag this transformation bar out, and we're going to move these out a little bit. As you see, you can see when I held down the Alt that the caps are not showing, so that lets us know that we've got a negative insert mesh. So we're going to spread the eyes out a little bit, and then we're going to turn off the transform, and we're going to use that same pumpkin eye cutter for a nose. Hold down the Alt key to get the negative insert, and then we're going to take our move brush, we're going to reposition it, hold down the shift key. Might want to move it down just a little bit, like so. Now while I'm doing this, well, okay, I won't bring it up, but I'll show you something that I discovered earlier but we'll get to that. So now we want our pumpkin smile cutter, and we're going to drag it out here, and it's going to take some rotation here. Like so. And you can always drag this move tool back out. You don't have it positioned exactly like you want it. Oh, I did make one goof here. I got to hold down the Alt key to make this a negative insert. Now we've got a negative insert. And we'll reposition this. We're going to do some rotation here. So this smile is a little thin, but you can always refine that. You can go back and make your own. Might want to do it a little different. Okay, so we've got our smile, nose, and the two eyes. Now we're going to turn off our mask. And I want to say this takes a lot of geometry, and I'll show you that when it happens in the DynaMesh. So you control and you drag, turn off your mask, go to your geometry tab, and when we do our DynaMesh, I want a DynaMesh at 512. It gives a good clean thing here, good clean mesh. So here we go, it's projection in progress. And voila, see, we've got it's hollow. So now you've actually got a hollow object with your cuts just like you would a pumpkin. Okay, now like I say, if you would have had a lower value, let me show you what happens when you do the lower values in the DynaMesh. Just to give you an example. Let's say we go to 128. We'll get a crest result, but see, you get a little bit of a noise there. So we're going to go back and we're going to do our 512. Now just to show you, when you go into your DynaMesh menu, high resolution gives you cleaner cuts from these insert mesh brushes. Okay, so I'm going to show you a new technique here. I want to put some creases in our pumpkin. Alright, so we'll turn on our polymesh. We'll look straight down to the Z-axis, and we're going to use a slice curve brush. I like to be able to see those guidelines really good. So we're going to use our slice curve with the stroke, open stroke. We're going to drag that down to the middle like so. Now we're going to go in our deformation palette. We're going to rotate this 60 degrees. Hit enter. And we take our slice curve again. Hold down the space bar to move it over. And then we rotate it again 60 degrees. Because I want 6 of these. You could go 8 if you like. But keep this video kind of short. I'll cut to the chase. So it's difficult to see since I do have a very high polymesh count. But anyway, little goof there. I want to see these lines fall as far as the face of my pumpkin. Alright, so we got one right down to the nose. Okay, so at least we got our eyes on different polygroups. But what I want to point out here, when I do, we're going to show you how to do this new. If you make a hollow sphere, and you do this to make your indentations or your grooves for your pumpkins, the insert meshes won't work. It has something to do with the poly groups. But anyway, we're going to hide each one of these separately and mask them off. I'm going to turn this looking straight down. We're going to get to how I'm going to show you get your creases in there. And Control Tap to mask. Control Shift Tap. Control Tap to mask. Control Shift to bring it back out. Control Tap. Control Shift. Control Tap and mask. Control Shift. Tap. And just to make sure, I believe. Okay, we got them all masked. Okay. Now you can see we've got some, because these are separate poly groups, we've got this little division here. So we go into our masking and we're going to shrink this mask. And I'm just going to shrink it once. We're going to turn our pumpkin around here. And then we go to our deformation palette. All the areas that are not masked will give us our crease. So now we got our crease. I'm going to unmask, control, drag, and now I think that was a little deep though. Let's back up. We'll put a small negative number in. Say 5. We'll go with 5. Then we'll control. We'll release that mask. Now we've got our creases here, and if you go to Shift out, you see we still have the poly groups, which may be advantageous, may not be. It's really not at this point, because essentially we've got our holes cut. So you could go ahead and make this a one poly group if you wanted to. But I've been playing with ZRemesher, and I'm gonna remesh this because it really cleans it up a lot. So we're gonna go into the geometry here, and also it'll bring down our our active points group, or our pieces, our quads. And this is quite heavy. This is at 1.336 million. But I like the ZRemesher. I haven't used it as some people do in the more character-wise type situations, but I notice it's really useful. Cleans up your mesh a lot. It can reduce your polygon count. So we're going to remesh this since we've got all the holes cut. But next we're going to, once we get it remeshed, we're going to reshape it a little bit, make a stem, add some material and color to it. And so this is really cool. I'm really waiting for the release of ZBrush 5. I've been using ZBrush for over 12 years. I started with ZBrush 1.0. I think that was the number of it. I don't remember exactly. I still have my original CD when I bought it, but it really has improved a lot over the years, and it just gets better and better. And unlike any other type of software like Adobe, which I use, you have to constantly re-up, and now Adobe's all in the cloud. Anyway, so we got this remeshed, and we've reduced our polygon down quite a bit. This is passable. I mean, if you want to go with the heavy one, go with it, but you can always go Control D, and the ZRemesher really cleans things up. It does distort the holes a little bit. I'm not real worried about that. We can step back and delete the lower. We got 34,000 polygons here. That's a pretty low count, and yet we have a fairly good looking object. It did interfere with the creasing a little bit, but otherwise it's a good model. And I'm gonna go with this one because this can be light to work with for more manipulation. And once we get it to one, you can always subdivide again. So I'm gonna go with Shift F. You can go in here with your pinch brush again and maybe clean this up. just a tad. We pinch it down. Of course, you want it to look a little organic, so and you can go in here with your standard dam. Yes, if I haven't used it much today, and you could maybe fix this a little bit. I don't know. Be going real close, real small, and then go back to your pinch. Maybe work this a little bit. But at this point, I'm gonna. I've got pretty much what I want. We've got a hollow pumpkin, so I wanna. We'll make this a little more organic looking. You can hit the S button and get this dynamic resizing. Pull it up a little bit. Kind of more like a real pumpkin you would actually go buy at the supermarket. Maybe a little lopsided. Add a little character to it. Maybe you push it in the back some. Maybe pull it out. So that's it for that. Now we can pop a little stem in here. I'm going to use a Z-sphere. And kind of the lazy way here. Pull this out. And we'll get our draw size down to 1. Maybe add a few more here. Scale these ends down. We'll turn the symmetry off for now. Kind of bring it to a point. So make a little stem here for our pumpkin. And we'll move a little bit like so. And we'll go ahead and make it adaptive skin. We'll go ahead and polymesh this. And you can go in your subtool here, rename it, call it pumpkin stem. And so now we'll go back to our pumpkin base here. We'll just rename him on right here. Alright, and then we'll append our stem. And turn on transparency. We'll get our rotational thing going here. Oh, now position this a little bit. We go down to deformation. We'll get our size down. So you can go back with your move tool, reposition it. Now the only thing I wasn't able to do here is to create a cap. It's a little tricky. I haven't quite. I wanted to make a cap that I could put right in, back in, but I haven't managed to work that out. Because once it's hollow, you just can't take a slice off the top because it closes all the holes. Really weird. So we'll control this down a couple times. Yeah, we'll delete our lower. But anyway, let me get pumpkin rotated around here a little bit. get our base facing us. And then maybe get the stem positioned a little bit. So that looks pretty good. And like I say, you could always work at a higher mesh once you get essentially what you want. But I'm just gonna kind of cut this short to show you how to get these holes in there, how to make your parts. Now what I did here, turn on the mRGB, fill the object. This material seems a little dark to me, so we're going to bring up the ambient. Bring up the ambient a little bit more. And maybe a little bit down. We'll get it at 33. And you can go in here. I'm not going to go into doing all the other touch-ups. I mean, you can go a lot further from here. But I'm going to go in here in the surface and add a little graininess to this pumpkin. We're just going to go in here and get a little noise going here. Like so. Then I'm going to apply that to the mesh. That looks a little too much. What we can do, like I say, you can always go up on the geometry. But the interface in ZBrush slows down when you're working with real heavy geometry. But that will help us get this noisiness on here. And we'll say OK on that. And then we'll apply this to the mesh. So we got kind of a fairly convincing hollow pumpkin there. I'm going to leave it up to you to color the stem. I would make it brown, maybe put some green streaks in it. But I'm going to call it done. So happy Halloween out there. And as always, happy ZBrushing. And that's how to make a hollow pumpkin with ZBrush. Thanks for viewing, and I'm out of here.